It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Rays of light, we're moving through the night. With destiny in our sights, we've got to fight. Through all the rain, we're masking all our pain to take what still remains of our lives.
What is going on, traders? Welcome to the show, Trader Spotlight Season 2, Episode 6 with TSDR Trading. How we doing tonight? Who we got in the crowd this evening? Looks like we have around 13 viewers. Welcome. Come on in. I hope you guys had a great week this week. A lot of great plays, up and down, and up and down, and up and down. You know, yes, sir. We got Husky Trading out in the crowd tonight. How you doing, sir? Welcome back. Blaze Beast, what's going on, man? C-Mac, thank you for the first time. Chat, TSCR rocks. He certainly does. Psycho Trader, how's it going tonight? Welcome. Blake Bracco, welcome. That is TSDR's #1 fan. Ah! Come on in, guys. Come on in. Grab a seat, please. Please join us for this epic little Trader Spotlight podcast session tonight. So if you had a bad week, just sit back and relax. If you had a good week, crack open a beer or a preferred beverage, whatever you like, and join us here tonight. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you TSDR's Twitter, just so that if you are not following the legend himself, you know where to go. Okay, let's pop it open here. All right, here is TSDR Trading. Tell, show, do, review. Okay, legend out on Twitter. Hit him with the follow, and show him some love. Great guy. In a lot of Twitter Spaces as well, going over the market as it's happening. Great review, psychology, awesome fundamental trader. If you guys have questions about any of that type of stuff, options, things like that, he's definitely the man. Okay, we're gonna bring him on here tonight. So if you guys have any questions, by the way, if you do have any questions for TSDR, please put them in chat. Okay, and at myself at 100_1,000,000, and I will see the question and I will ask it at an appropriate time. Okay. So yeah, I believe he is sitting in the trading channel. So let's get him on here. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yo, what up?
What's going on, man? 1 sec. I'm just gonna connect my camera and then we'll run it. I just gotta disconnect it from Streamlabs. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, of course. How's the trading week for you? And do you have any plans for the weekend?
It was really good. It was an awesome week. A little bit up and down, but I had 5 green days out of 5 trading days, so I can't complain. Not
Gotcha.
too crazy. No
Nice.
plans. Hang out with the kids.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Nice to finally meet you, by the way. We've talked a
Oh,
lot in the past and stuff,
yeah,
and you're always in the Twitter Spaces, and I'm like, oh, I know that guy, and so it's pretty
yeah.
cool to sit down with you. Glad you could finally get on the show, and I appreciate you
Oh,
coming on, man. That means a lot.
oh, yeah. Thank you.
So first of all, you had a good week. What do you think about the market lately? A lot of people are saying choppy. A lot of people are, a lot of speculation going on. What are your thoughts on just market sentiment in general?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, thanks for having me on. I'll preface by saying I'm primarily a day trader. I scalp, you might say. I'm in and out of trades within 15 minutes, 20 minutes, upwards of an hour, a couple hours sometimes. So for me, the market's been fantastic. This has been the one of the best starts to the year that I can remember. I mean, I've only been trading for 3.5 years, 4 years almost. So only have a few little smaller sample size to choose from, but it's been awesome range. January was my third best month of my career behind April and March of 2020. And there's just been massive range on the S&P and on stocks in general that I've been able to exploit, and that's all I really look for. So for me, it's been fantastic.
That's awesome, man. I'm a day trader myself, so I think we're in the same boat. We're kind of loving
Oh
this a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah.
Uh, so the way I kind of start these usually is if you could go back and tell us how you first found trading, your first kind of dabbling into it, and how you developed your style, what it was, and what it's become.
Certainly. So in 2017, after Thanksgiving 2017, I got into crypto. My brother was a big Bitcoin guy. He had made a lot of money from 2016 up to the first crypto bull run in 2017. And so he got me into Bitcoin. So I started, dabbling in some cryptos. And then, as they fell off in, the crypto winter of 2018 and whatnot, is when I was hooked to, immediately from that point. So that's when I pretty much transferred over into stocks, and have been ever since. It was a bouncy journey, to say the least. Those first couple years, 2018 and 2019, that wasn't an easy market. Looking back at the time, I'm actually pretty proud of how much money I didn't lose, because I mean, it was a pretty choppy market back in 2018 and the early part of 2019. So I'm glad I was able to start learning at that point. Um, because it gave me at least a solid base, because I learned when it was a little bit more difficult to trade. But I was just by myself. I had a couple friends, a couple family members, that were, really involved in the stock market. They, guided me through, and, kind of taught me, a few simple lessons, what to look for, what to avoid. And that's really how I got started. And and then later on in the early part of 2020, I joined a great group, and learned from what I believe is the best day trader on the face of the planet, in Kunal Desai from Bulls on Wall Street.
Okay.
Not many people on Twitter are super familiar, but with him or with Bulls on Wall Street, but probably because it's a really expensive service, but it's absolutely worth it. It changed my life dramatically. I owe I always say I owe not everything, but most of it, most of my knowledge and ability to Kunal and his mentorship. He's been doing it for 20 years plus. He started in the dot com boom, made his fortune then, and
Okay.
has since survived. So he's a genius, and and yeah, I was always on Twitter in my personal account, and me and my buddy decided to create this page, and I've since done all the tweeting, but he's been kind of my mentor throughout the years. He's been trading for a couple years longer, and was in that Bulls on Wall Street group for about 2 years prior to before when I joined. Back in the early part of 2020, and He was always kind of my mentor, and in the past 2 years, it's I had that aha moment really, like I said, in March and April of 2020, where everything just started to click, and I realized I could be doing this for my entire life now. So
That's awesome, man.
yeah.
That's really interesting. See, you started in crypto. That's pretty cool. And so when you did that first transition to stocks, were you trading options at that time, or did you start in commons like everybody else?
Yep. I started just trading common stock equity. I dabbled in options as I learned more about hedging, I would say. Um, it really, in that early part of 2020, is when I started kind of dabbling in options, and it just kind of became more and more enticing as the days and months went on. I still probably do 70% options now and 30% stock or shares, where it used to be more 70% shares and 30% options. It'll transfer back and forth, as the days go on. Certain days I trade more just shares. Certain days I trade more options. It all kind of depends. But oftentimes I'll take positions. Like I did in Square today. I took basically half my position size in shares, and then another half size position in options, because I wasn't sure if I had the timing correct. The chart looked decent, but I wasn't sure if I had the timing correct. So I wanted to give myself a little bit more wiggle room by splitting that up 50-50 in shares and options.
Got you. Okay. Okay. Cool. And so when you this whole time, like in your beginning process, right, from crypto to stocks to options, were you working a full-time job as well?
Yeah, you could say a full-time job. I was working as a bartender, so I've been
Let's
bartending.
go.
Yep, for oh gosh, I was bartender from 18 to 25,
No way.
so for about 7 years. Yeah, I'm 27 now. I turned 28 tomorrow.
Bro, we're the
Um,
same age.
yes, let's go.
Let's go. I turned 28 in October.
Nice. Oh yeah, I've got 3 kids though.
Okay, yeah, no kids. No kids over here.
That's just fine. You're not missing anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No, that's crazy, man. So you're balancing, at the time, you're balancing your trading, your job, and your family. What was it like keeping that balance while trying to learn and tackle trading in these trades? Like, was that tough for you?
a lot less sleep. Very little sleep, to be honest. Another thing, actually, at the time, to kind of throw a different curveball, and not many people knows about me. I mean, I here I am face to face, so it's something I talk about pretty openly. I was also quitting drinking at the time, so I haven't had a drink for about over 2.5 years now.
No way.
So yeah, so so that was also something that I was going through. So I really, I'm actually incredibly grateful for stocks and for the opportunity that's been placed in front of me, because it truly changed my life for the better. It made me be more present to my family. But in all reality, it's incredibly difficult. I say to people all the time, whenever I see tweets about you can make this much money, or I made this much money today in the stock market, I get really upset, because it's not easy. In
Yeah.
fact, it's incredibly difficult, and I believe it's the most difficult thing you'll ever do, is to try to commit yourself to trading stocks full time.
Hmm.
And you have to have not only the ability and the knowledge, but the 100% commitment to learning the skill day in and day out, putting in the screen time day in and day out, nights, weekends, more early mornings, and all throughout the day.
Right.
Um, it's not easy. It has not been easy, and I'm very grateful for that. It's given me significant drive, to constantly be better every single day. I will never stop trying to be better. I will never stop learning, and I'll never stop grinding.
Man, that's huge. That's so cool. I didn't know that about you. That's super, super cool, man.
So here I am drinking my Lacroix.
Let's go. Let's go. I got a water going on here. So tap water. It's luxury tap water.
Cool.
So, we can dive into a little bit about your trading strategy at this point, I think.
Sure.
When is there a type of day that you find yourself trading more and less in? Like, when do you like to trade? And run me through kind of your trading style, your indicators and setups and stuff like that. Let's hear a bit about your
Sure.
trading.
Sure. Very briefly, we can pull up screens in a few minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
I I love trading. I love trading the open. All my plan is basically set around the opening bell, the first half an hour to 45 minutes. All my I plan for the first half an hour, 45 minutes, and from there, you just rely on intraday setups that I'm used to, which we'll get into. But my trading style is basically I take my setups, I take my watch list from the daily charts. I try to hit day one or day two of the move. By that I mean when a stock is at first making a higher low or higher high continuation. I want that's what I look for. I love earnings setups, meaning post earnings. I'm not a big fan of playing earnings via option straddles, via lottos, or however you want to call it. I'm not a big fan of those. But I love playing stocks post earnings, meaning, for example, one that I didn't play it today. I actually missed it, but we were talking about it in the group was Zillow today. It gave one of my favorite setups today, and I think is really easy, really low risk, high reward setup. ENPH we played yesterday and today. DDOG, DDOG was another one gapping up. Net we played today. We were able to capitalize on Net's move, NET, Cloudflare. So around earnings season is when I really try to shine and try to make the most of my money, because the opportunity is there, the range in the stock is there. But other than that, I mean, I really just take stocks that have a significant amount of range on every day. The ATR, if you're familiar with that indicator, the average true range, which is the amount a stock typically moves on average from low to high on a given day.
Okay.
It's called the ATR. So I use a 10-day average ATR, and I basically use that to kind of tell me on any given day how many dollars can I get out of this at that setup. So AMD, for example, nearly doubled its ATR today with its range, which was pretty disappointing for me to see, actually, because when it had maxed out its ATR, I had kind of given up on the stock, and I didn't think it had the potential to move as much as it did today, even though it kept giving the intraday setups. Um, and we can get into some of those setups. Let me know how or when to share the screen. We can talk about some of these earnings plays that I like to do, some of these intraday setups if you want.
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Do I just click share screen?
Yeah, exactly. So hit share screen, then you'll pick it'll do a drop down thing. Pick the screen with the
Gotcha.
charts.
Gotcha.
Perfect. Let me pull that up, and you're good to go.
All right, so I'll just open that up here. All right, all good?
Yeah. Walk us through it. What are we seeing here?
Yeah. So this setup, the system is or software is TC2000. It's the charting software that I use. I absolutely love it. I don't know, pretty phenomenal. So on the left side here, where my mouse is, I'll go to a chart that's a little more clean. We've got the daily chart. My time frames will be listed up here, stock ticker right here, and also the watermark in the back. So I've got my daily charts here, and then on the right side, I've got my 5-minute chart. I'll flip between 15-minute, hourly, so on and so forth. But I make all my executions off the 5-minute chart and get rid of post-market data. And then down here, I've just got my master watch list, 166 stocks that I generally like to trade. I'll take some off and put some on, every week, as I see them setting up or not setting up. Right here, we've got 90-day momentum scan. Stocks that are up the most in the past 90 days, 30 days, 5 days, year to date, 6 months, etc. And then today. So and I've got volume filters on this and price filters as well. So I can weed out, stocks that I generally, won't trade or won't even look at. I primarily trade, large cap stocks or mid cap stocks. Anyways, Um, so yeah, let's first look at Zillow because this is one that we were talking about today. Let me clean this up a little bit. So this is just called a 9 EMA pullback. Very simple trade to execute. It actually ended up failing on ENPH yesterday. But you get a stock gapping up kind of into some resistance where it's going to need some marination. It's going to need a little bit of work. As I like to say, you're going to need to massage the balls a little bit on this one. So sorry if this is
No, I love
a
it.
kid-friendly program.
No, you're good.
So yeah, on a stock like Zillow gapping up, right into the 50-day moving average, right into this resistance level here, you're really going to need to massage the balls on this one, right? So
Yes, sir.
so we're not going to expect it to move right away, but we'll be prepared if it does. So we're looking for two things on this setup, right? We're looking for an ORB to happen when we can't buy the first candle necessarily because we don't have all the institutional information, that all these prop firms have. They're buying it right here, at the bottom, maybe if it's going to actually rocket. But we have to sit back and wait for a couple minutes and see if it makes an ORB where we get the first candle up. ORB is opening range breakout. I'm sure obviously some of the viewers might not,
Yeah.
but so we get the first candle up here, and then we'd look for some sideways consolidation, 1, 2, 3 candles of sideways consolidation to kind of hold the top of the range, or at least hold within this first 5 candle, right? 5 minute candle, and then we'd look for a break of that upper range right here after some sideways consolidation, and we'd put our buy right there, and we'd put our stop just below it, pretty arbitrary, where however much we're willing to risk, at some reasonable support level. So that's ORB. So that's one setup we're looking for on an earnings gap up here. The other setup I look for is a 9 EMA pullback, and that's what Zillow ended up presenting. Kind of noticed with market weakness at the open and just overall market sentiment that an ORB was going to be unlikely, or at least less probable of significant follow through to the upside. So if I would have been more prepared on Zillow, I would have been really stocking for this 9 EMA pullback. And this is a textbook example right here. We get this first 5 minute candle to form. We get a little bit of action. It's got significant volume. 2.7 million shares traded. So we know we're going to have liquidity throughout the day, which is something that I really look for. Especially if I'm trading shares or especially options as well, is we're going to need some liquidity so I can get in and out. With some not decent size, but enough, to where I don't want to get chopped up on the spread, right, between the bid and the ask.
Right.
So this pulls back here right into the 9 EMA. And if the stock is going to be strong, if it's going to trend at all or make any sort of continuation after their earnings gap up, it should hold the first test into the 9 EMA. And that's exactly what we saw here. So once we get this green candle to hold right here, it is pretty much our entry signal where we can enter on the second green candle as we're breaking the highs right here, and then put our stop right below this previous candle, right?
Right.
So that is one trade that I absolutely love to do, because the risk reward is phenomenal. I mean, if you get a perfect entry, right, we're getting in about 53.90, maybe 54, we'll call it, and you're risking down here to, let's call it 53.20. So you're risking 90 cents on the trade, and the assumption is that you'll be able to at least get to the top of the range up here at 57 bucks. So you're risking about 90 cents to make $3. So that's 3 to 1 plus risk reward. You can have a 25% success rate on this trade and 25% win rate, and you'd still be break even at least with proper risk management and position sizing. And it ends up being actually a more probable trade than 25%. It's around more closer to 40 or 45% probability of working out. Um, as you can see, ENPH yesterday, it didn't do that. We kind of had this setup, which we actually took and ended up being a losing trade,
Okay.
which is fine. because it's just all about probabilities, position sizing, and risk management, right?
Right.
So as you can see, we knew the stock was going to be a little bit weaker, or at least needed a deeper pullback, because this first test into the 9 EMA failed, as we found out on this little bear flag here, right?
Right.
We ended up playing this a little bit later as it based out in the middle of the day. Got a little bit of a decent run back to the up into the view app.
And really quick, what time frames do you like? I see you have the 15.
This is a 5 minute chart right here that I'm
Okay.
looking at.
Okay.
I'm probably about 90% of the time I'm looking at the 5 minute chart before I really make a decision, or if I'm questioning something, I'll flip to the hourly. This isn't necessarily a good example. I'll flip to the hourly chart just to kind of see if the trend is in my favor. If am I missing anything? Like right here, I don't know if I would have noticed this, double bottom type move, breaking the neckline here, if I would have been on the 5 minute chart. But by flipping to the hourly, it's really easy to see that that there's some buyers down here below 210 back in late January, early February.
Right.
So I love looking at the hourly just to kind of get a little bit of a bigger time frame look, and then yeah, 15 minute, just to give me again a bigger picture on where the trend is going. Are we making really significant higher lows, lower highs, etc. But yeah, 5 minutes is how I base all my entries and exit off and setups.
Okay. Cool. Anything else for us on that, on earnings or any intraday strategies?
Sure, I could talk for hours about
Yeah.
this.
And we'll switch to psychology soon as well.
Oh, sure. So D-Dog yesterday, I'm not sure if any people took this, but this was a nice ORB on D-Dog yesterday after earnings. So this one, gapping up here, not really any resistance up here. I mean, it had room, I guess, to make a significant move, because we're kind of sitting right in this middle of the range, to where we're going to see some price discovery.
I'm still
up here.
seeing NVIDIA.
Oh, shoot. I've got D-Dog up on my screen right now.
Let me see if I can refresh it. Can you end your screen share and then restart it again real quick?
All right.
Yes.
Yo.
Sorry, don't know what happened there.
No, yeah. Let's see here. Screen share.
Yeah, perfect. There we go. Now
D-Dog?
we're good. Carry on. Yep.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah, D-Dog here. I'll flip to the 2 minute. Actually, I never mentioned this. I'll flip to the 2 minute pretty frequently in the morning, just again to see if there's anything I'm missing, especially with ORBs. If I'm really looking for one of those, I'll flip back and forth. Between the 2 and 5 minute, or the 2 and 5 minute really frequently, because I can just do that with a click of the button here on TC2000. So here I was looking for an ORB. It's not the cleanest one, but it's definitely there. And I'll show you in a minute. Like, this might not look like much, but this is a lot of money to be made right here in this about 4 or 5 minutes of range.
Right.
So we get a nice push right here at the open. Nothing you can do about that in the first 2, 4, 5 minutes. But we get a break right here of 172. I was looking at the tape at the time, and it kept bouncing against 172 exactly and pulling back slightly. And then right away I figured once it breaks through 172, we're going to see a pretty decent thrust. But look at this price right up here. I'm going to make it so it's more visible. If you look to the right over there, it got up to 179.40 from this 172. So that's $7 worth of range in 4 minutes right there.
Wow.
So I mean, if you're buying a couple hundred shares of that, that's significant money. That'll make your day right there. Starting off with $1,000 gain. If you're trading options, I mean, come on, that's even better, right?
So is this
You
a
gotta
situation where you would take shares over options?
Depends. I'm very possibly depends on how quick it is. A 2 minute ORB, very likely. very
Okay.
likely I'm just taking shares right there. Especially in the morning within the first 5 minutes, that IV from the implied volatility
It's gonna
from
be high.
earnings is still super high, and
Yeah.
it's super skewed. So that $7 of range isn't probably worth that much on options. So this was, but once again, this is one that I didn't take. I do take a lot of good setups,
Yeah.
but I do actually. When I'm studying and reviewing, I actually study more of the stocks that I missed than the trades that I took, because I want to know why I missed them, why wasn't I watching them, and what can I do better to make sure that I trade them the next time they present themselves. Because getting better executions and better buys and sells, like that's obviously really important. But if you're not trading the right stocks, none of that means anything. So
Right.
I like to trade the stocks that I missed. So next time I'm trading the best stocks, and from there I can make my executions, my entries and exits better as time goes on. But yeah, this is one that I definitely would have taken with stocks. In fact, we got a really nice retest here that would have been another nice trade.
That retest is
Um,
so sexy.
yeah, dude, right down to 172 on the nuts too,
Yeah.
and then it ended up going up to 185. So
Wow.
that's $13 worth of range. So I love trading these earnings plays. And if you look down here, this is my ATR number. So that's $12 worth of range on every single day on a $160 stock. Um, so
So
that's tradable every day.
so that's interesting to me. I actually haven't had anyone on the show who uses ATR. Could you walk us through like another example of it and like how to use it properly?
Sure. I today's actually a really bad example of ATR usage, because it really I really kind of screwed the pooch on this one, because so right here, oh gosh, where was it? Right about here, about noon, 1 p.m. I'm sitting here thinking the ATR's all moved up, because we had made, oh, let me get just to today. All right. So we had made a high of the day. We opened up the day up here, had a push up to about 261.50, and then we were down here at about 247, right? So that's $14 worth of range right there. And you come over here and you check out the ATR of the past 10-day period. That's $14. And it's midday. We've got some sideways consolidation. I'm thinking, the easy money on Nvidia is done, and we're either going to see a little bit of a retracement into the view app, and just kind of bounce around here for a little bit, or it's I thought the easy money was done. um, Turns out it was wrong. We've got some expanding ATR, because it always expands and contracts. Going back, it's this yellow line here. So there's
Oh.
times where Nvidia is trading $20 worth of range every single day, and 14 is on the lower side of its historical average ATR, but it's definitely expanding. It definitely had room to move at least up to $17 today. So I should have been able to squeeze a few more dollars out of this trade. I was in 252.50 puts, right here. So from
Damn.
this entry.
Let's go.
Uh, yeah, this was they ended up going 800%. I
Oh
didn't get
shit.
all 800. I didn't get all
Right.
800% of that trade, but I guess we can transition into probably my next favorite setup, because everyone midday they're going to take their lunch, and
Yes,
they're not really
sir.
trading. That's when I really pad my stats and make extra money, because I've got two pretty kick-ass setups that I use, thanks to the mentorship that I've had. And right here, these two candles, I'm going to delete this circle, is beautiful. So when a stock is weak, this will work long or short. This white line is the VWAP, which is volume weighted average price, something I use all day, every day.
I love it too.
Um, yeah, dude, I live the VWAP lifestyle. You live the VWAP life too?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It
sir.
chose me. I didn't choose it.
I didn't choose the VWAP life. It chose me. Exactly. Um, so this is simply a VWAP rejection. There's two setups: VWAP rejection and VWAP bounce. Obviously, VWAP rejection to the short side, VWAP bounce to the long side. So if you have a stock that's trending, it's going to try to, have a reversion to the mean right around this midday part of the day between 10 and noon. When volume dries up a little bit and we start seeing some people close some traders close their morning positions and start to prepare for the rest of the day. Today was obviously a pretty violent trend day to the downside. And this is another one where it's just the risk reward is just massive. So we get a retracement into the VWAP. We have a little bit of extension of price away from the 9 EMA. We at least need to retrace, let these moving averages catch up, let price kind of consolidate for a little bit and retrace into the VWAP. And that's exactly what we got here. Some candles tried spiking above the VWAP, and it just quickly got rejected. So I look for a red candle to hold, and then the next candle to break the lows of that one right there. So the entry here is about 253.50, and you basically risk right up to here, the high of the previous candle over the VWAP, about 255. So you're risking, $1.50 on this trade, give or take a quarter, and your reward. It's hard to predict what your reward's going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just really have to be more comfortable with the risk, because if it's going to be a nice trend stock, it'll really continue, and you can squeeze a lot of juice out of it. And if it's not going to work, well, then it's just going to be a losing trade. But this trade is another one that has pretty decent probability of working, especially when combined with the 20 EMA. And one that I absolutely love. I love trading NVIDIA. NVIDIA is probably my favorite trader of the past year or so. But yeah, and then obviously this ended up, going down all the way down here. These options went from, I entered at $2.03 on the 252s, and they closed the day at $12 or $13.50, I think. Yeah. I was looking at them a little bit cheaper when they were coming back up. On this green candle, they were trading at about $1.60, but by the time I entered, they were up to $2, which is fine. Sometimes I take a little anticipatory entry on a green candle, but looking back at my stats, I've lost money doing that. So I like to wait for a little bit of confirmation.
Okay.
VWAP.
So are you buying? You're a day trader like myself. You're buying weekly contracts?
Yeah, oh yeah. Closest expiration, most volatility possible.
Gotcha. And so will you trade Friday expiration on Thursdays and Fridays?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Because some people that come on the show and they say, no, I'll trade next week's, but you like the volatility.
Oh yeah.
Okay, awesome.
The setups I trade, they're either going to work very quickly and go in my favor, or they will or they'll go against me very quickly. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes they grind slowly, but if they're wrong, they're going to go against me very, very quickly. So I really very rarely get eaten up with theta I very rarely get eaten up by theta, because if it's going to fail, it's going to fail very quickly.
Right.
Sometimes they grind and, it ends up being, a 10% trade or 5% trade, because I do get eaten up by theta. But when it goes against me, it doesn't take an hour to go against me. It goes against me very quickly.
Got you. Can you? So I see you have the VWAP there, the 20 EMA and the 9 EMA. Can you just quickly run through like what you like the most about each of those?
Sure. The 9 EMA is good for kisses. The 20 EMA is good for continuation of trend. So by the 9 EMA is good for kisses. Often, just like we saw in that Zillow setup on earnings this morning, it just kisses the 9 EMA. Just wants to get a little taste of it and then goes on. It doesn't dip around it. It doesn't play with it. It just goes right away. And a strong trending stock that should happen on the first pullback to the 9 EMA. Why do I use the 9 EMA versus the 8 or the 10 or 5? That some other people use.
Right.
I don't know. Just what my mentors used.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Simple as that. And then the 20 EMA is another one where I just typed EMA. is another one of my favorite intraday setups where if a trending stock is going to continue, these 20 EMA rejections are going to work perfectly. And I mean, look at Nvidia all day. It didn't even peak above the 20 EMA, this red line, just all day trend
Yeah.
down the 20 EMA.
It's funny.
So
We have the exact same three that we use.
indicators?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the best. It's the best.
That's funny, man. So, when you're looking for plays in the morning, maybe you have your earnings plays, maybe you don't. Do you have a core group of stocks that you will come back to? Obviously, you love Nvidia. Do you have like a small group that you'll flock to and that you know the personalities of really, really, really well?
Nvidia, AMD, Tesla, Square. Yeah.
And is that something you'd
Um,
recommend for maybe newer traders who are trying to get into options?
If you're getting into options, 100%.
Okay.
I think it's a must to focus on one, two, three stocks that have a decent amount of range and learn those because and this is actually really important. There's no need, especially on days like today where we get such a massive, trend day. You don't need to be going and finding, oh, look at Uber, Uber's setting up, or look at Lyft. I didn't even look at these, or look at AMC, GME, whatever. Oh, this is holding up. Is this relative strength? JMIA, whatever your, stock of choices. And there's no need to go try to find a new stock after you've, traded something. Is just keep hitting the same stuff. I mean, Nvidia every single day gives you $14 worth of range.
Mm-hmm.
On a $240 stock. If you can squeeze $6 out of that, with 100 200 shares, or especially with options, like you're good. You're super good. Tesla, I mean come on. This thing moves $50 a day,
It's insane.
and that's at the low end. We're talking this thing normally you move 70 75 bucks a day. I mean that's crazy. Right? That's craziness. That's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
easy to exploit if you have proper risk management, position sizing, and you know some good setups. You can exploit Tesla day in and day out. Quite frankly, last week I don't even know if I traded it at all. Because it was just chopping in range. But you could have. I mean, every single day it's got $50 worth of range. But it wasn't giving me the daily setup that I was looking for quite yet. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So let's talk a little bit about the viewers and the people who are going to be watching this. A lot of them are trading smaller accounts, and I'd love to talk about that. Did you ever have like kind of a small account, like let's say 10K or less, and
Oh, yeah.
how did you what was your trading style like back then as opposed to now? Like what were some like tips and tricks you would tell yourself to kind of look at?
Back then I just swing traded shares.
Okay.
Really in my small account. It's a really good question. Honestly, the best way to grow a small account is to work hard and feed that account with cash, with hard-earned cash.
Right.
The best thing you can do while trading, while learning to trade, is to try to protect your capital as much as possible and simply just learn the game. You're not going to make money.
Right.
You're not going to make money your first year, maybe your first 2 years. Maybe people who gotten started this past couple years, they likely did make some good money in 2020, and maybe gave some back in 2021. But a typical year like 2022 or the latter part of 2021 is very difficult to trade. And you're not going to be able to pick whatever the next electric vehicle company is and just buy 100 shares or buy out of the money call options and make money. Best thing you can do is sit and study charts, intraday charts, daily charts, and work an extra job to try to feed that account. But the most important thing you can do to grow a small account is to learn proper position sizing and risk management. It's
Mm-hmm.
plain and simple.
Gotcha.
Um, Risk 1.5 to 2% of your account on any given swing trade, 0.5% to 1% of your account on any given day trade, and have a certain amount of money you're willing to risk. If you have a $10,000 account, you can lose $100 per trade, and that's 1% of your account. You lose 3 trades in a row, you're done for the day.
Right.
That's a 3% loss. That's a pretty decent drawdown on your account. I'd recommend even risking 0.5% of your account on any given day trade. I risk anywhere from 0.25% of my account to 0.5% of my account on any given day trade.
Okay.
And I have very strict risk management and position sizing rules. So I choose the amount I'm willing to risk on a trade, whether it be $100, $1,000, $5,000. And then from there, I figure out where my stop is going to be. Is it going to be a 10% stop on options? Is it going to be a dollar in shares? So like if I enter at 155, am I going to put my stop at 154? If I'm willing to risk $1,000 and I'm risking $1, I can take 1,000 shares. So that's how I position size, where I figure out how much money I'm willing to lose, where my stop is, and I just do the math between there. And that is how I figure out how many shares can I buy to lose 0.25% or 0.5% of my account. That way I don't have any trade that goes against me more than the other.
Got you.
Granted, it does vary a little bit because I will rate setups as I see them happen, A, B, and C. And, I'll risk, 0.5% on the A setups, 0.3% on the B setups, and 0.25% on the C setups, and so on like that.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. That also answers my stop loss question. So you guys better be taking some notes there on that. So we are getting a couple questions in chat that I'll touch on here. I know you can't see that. We did get one earlier. Now that we're talking about small accounts and expect to lose money when you first get in the market.
Yep.
Has TSDR ever blown up an account?
Yep.
And what was the psychology
Sure
like after you did that? How did you get back into the game and kind of reset yourself?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. I saved up 10 grand, put it into a capital market elite group back in the day, which is an offshore brokerage account that you can use to day trade shares and not be subject to the pattern day trading rule. They do charge $3 commission. Not necessarily recommending it because it's an offshore brokerage account, but capital market elite group, I don't know, it helped me learn because that's how I started day trading. But yeah, put 10 grand in there, blew it all.
No way.
In about six months.
Wow.
Hard-earned money, hard-earned cash from working hard. Luckily, my wife works as a registered nurse here at the VA in Minnesota. So, we weren't like super reliant on my income. It was money that I had, that we were able to save up. It was some extra cash money. So, what is the psychology around it? It sucks. You just gotta get back. If you're really committed, you got to get back in the game. So I, put $5,000 back in, every week or every couple weeks, put in a couple more thousand in as I, saved it up, as I, the account grew, as I started to find some consistency and success. And that second account I still have today.
Awesome, man. That's super cool to hear. Moving on to the next one. That question was from a Psycho Trader. Thank you, sir. This one is from Wizard Poker. TSDR, need some thoughts on some long contracts. You were looking at calls or puts. Curious if you're seeing anything a month or two out you've bought options for and are playing, or are you mostly short-term everything? So you're a day trader, correct? So
Yes, sir.
So nothing months out, I would imagine.
I actually entered one swing position today. I'll swing something once a week, once every couple weeks. Oftentimes it's just something that I made a lot of money on, and I'm like, yeah, let's roll the dice a little bit on this. Like I held some Peloton puts. Obviously, it didn't work on this day. Hold on, what day was it? On this day, so Tuesday going into Wednesday.
Okay.
I ended up losing most of that money, but. I entered a Rocket Lab short today. As you can see, I got my entries up here. Actually, I got in. Oh no, that's my stop. I got in at 972 short, and my stop is above 960, just above today's candle of 1054 high. Simple, downtrending stock, retracement into the 50 EMA, inverted hammer. We got it to come down here and remount the 9 EMA, which is this red one here. So it failed at the 9 EMA. Shows to me some weakness. You could call this, a little bear flag here, whatever you want to call it, right? Mm-hmm. Downtrending stock, it could be a bear flag, whatever. But But yeah, so I took this one is just in shares. I'm short at 972
Okay.
with a 90 cent risk. Roku, I like Roku for a swing short here. It's got some serious resistance above this level. Here we've got two inverted hammers here. If we can get it to drop below this little moving average sandwich here, the 9 and the 20, if
Mm-hmm.
we can get this thing below about 158, I think we got downside to about 140 again. Obviously right now, most of my, swings and positions are going to be leaning to the short side, just because, I mean, we got a double top on the S&P,
Mm-hmm.
broke the neckline here. I mean, I'm going to clean this up here quick. Just like we look for a double bottom, right? This looks like a big old McDonald's sign, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, that's your typical double top right here. We broke the neckline, coincides perfectly with the 200-day moving average, which proved to be little to no resistance today.
Right.
Broke the lows here. I think we're probably heading back to at least some resistance near 430, possibly 420 in the short term. We might see a short-term pop over the weekend. Maybe some news comes out about, Ukraine, inflation, Fed rates, whatever, interest rates, whatever. I think maybe we try to push into the back up above this 200-day moving average. Maybe we fart around here for a couple more days, but ultimately, I think we're going to at least test this 430 to 420 level on SPY again. So I am leaning short. Obviously, the trend is to the downside, or at least at the worst, it is in range here. So nothing I like swinging to the long side. You could play some oils, but I think the trade is done on some oil stocks.
Right.
I
XOM and
think
all that.
yeah, I think the entry. This is one that I took here on Oxy. We had this, little gap up on the first of the year, kind of when the oil trade was starting against us. Was the first 2 days of the session, and then we consolidated here, made this nice little flag pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pennant, whatever you want to call it, and then we broke the highs on this day, right there. I took a swing entry on that, let it run a few bucks, stopped out on the way down. Yeah, XOM. See, but I personally think, so for me, I'm not buying anything that looks like this. Like,
Right. Right.
I don't know. I'm not buying anything that's just straight up like this for the
Yeah.
past few days. For me, where I, have really found consistency this is where I make my money. I'm not going to, I mean, this is hard. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me fix this a little bit. This is hard money up here. This is really difficult trades to execute. It could be a little head and shoulders, looks kind of like a little middle finger sticking out at you,
Yeah.
right? Um, this is where I make my money. Day one, day two of the move, and then from there on, I'll maybe mess around with it, but really small size. But day one and day two, that's when I'm making my money. That's the easy money right there. That's when the institutions are getting to you. They're selling to you right up here,
Right.
right?
Right.
They're buying at $60, selling at 80. They're not buying at $80.
Right.
No way.
Yeah, it's crazy. All the hype is around oil plays right now, and it potentially being the top here. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see if Ukraine ends up being a nasty situation. We could see a short-term spike on oil,
Gotcha.
up to 150. This is USO. It's not actual Brent crude price, but we
Okay.
could see a price spike up to $85 on USO, maybe 30% increase. But if that's the case, we got a lot more problems than just finding out what to trade, in my opinion. But
Gotcha.
in my I think the trade has been the easy money's been made on this, and that's what I look for is just easy money.
Of course.
Another swing trade setup I like. If we end up breaking this $100 level on Square, it's got earnings coming up on the 24th. This $100 level has proven to be some solid support here. If we get a $100 break, this thing will move pretty quickly down to $80. I think $85. That's another swing trade I like. Yeah, that's about all I got right on Roku, Rocket Lab, and what was the last one? What did I just say? Square. Square breaks
yeah.
under.
Yeah. Okay.
Other than that, not sure.
Yeah, no, that's great. So a question that I have, because I'm not very good with like your technicals are amazing. We have a lot of similarities with how we like to trade technically. So I'm not very good with fundamentals. I'm not very good at retaining information about fundamentals.
I'm a little bit.
Yeah. So where do fundamentals play into your trading strategy? And you know, are you good with them? Like I'm just straight up not, man. I'll be honest.
Um, I have a decent. I know what's undervalued and what's overvalued, I guess I should say.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
other than that, I'm not the one to talk to about it. I like, so I know, for example, and I'll put it into a little bit of my thesis, like Spotify, I think is still. Oh, Spot's another one that I like short a lot here. Really, really relatively weak. We got, or not Spot. Oh my gosh, Shop. Sorry. Shop is still incredibly overvalued. I always ask people, they're all pumped out on Shopify. I'm like, have you ever bought anything on Shopify?
Right.
Are you using Amazon? And they're like, oh no, I've never used it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Does it deserve a $112 billion market cap? Does it deserve to be trading at 60 times sales or whatever it's trading at 60 times um, next year's earnings? I don't think so.
Right.
And so that's one thing I look at. I do give a bias to stocks that I really like Airbnb. I think their business model is absolutely amazing. I think they're going to be around for a long time, and I think they're going to be a really successful company. I think yeah, I think they're going to be a really successful company. So this is one where I'll give it a little bit higher of a multiple, and I'll be willing to trade it more expensively. But like Shop. So I'll give it some credence, like if when we're trading up here, even though this is middle of the hype in stocks, like growth stocks, everything, multiples don't matter, money's free, everything can trade at 100 times sales. Kathy Woods is queen of the world, like Shop can be still traded. I'm like, again, the easy money's made. Am I the easy money's made, and that's what I want to look for is easy money. And to me, right now, the easy money's to the short side still.
Yeah, I hear that. It looks good. It looks really good.
So a short answer, nah, not really.
Okay, cool. So we are more of the same.
Mhm.
Quick question in chat. What stock UI is this again? I forget what it was.
What was that?
What user interface is? What's this called again? This program?
Oh yeah, this is TC 2000. I've got a little link that you could get like 50% off your
Oh.
first month and a couple percent off the following months.
Can you DM that to me really quick? I'll post it in chat for everybody.
Yeah, dude. Let me actually, I'll just do it.
On your phone or whatever is fine, and I'll throw it in chat.
I've got it prepared. I knew someone was gonna ask what software this is.
Okay.
Oh shoot, that's wrong. What? Look at me. Yeah, I've got 3 people to sign up. I'm 26 bucks. Yeah, I do, get a referral bonus
Nice.
from referring people.
You deserve
But
it. That's fine.
like I said, I've got 3 people to sign up, and that's been for the past 6 months, and I made $26. So I'm not scamming anybody.
Yeah, I'm like you, man. I'm very open about how much I'm
Oh
making
yeah.
off this stuff.
Oh shoot, I don't even think that's the right one. Oh, here's the right one.
Oh, that's
All
okay.
right,
Yeah.
ignore that last one. That's the one.
Okay. I'm gonna post this in chat for everybody. If you're interested in this user interface for charting and everything like that, do you trade off this program too, or is it not connected?
No.
Okay.
No, so you can. It is a brokerage account. It just charges commissions.
Gotcha.
So I've got a couple. I'll be full transparent about TC 2000. I absolutely love it. I'll use it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
There's a couple things that I don't like about it. They don't have any cryptos. I email them probably once a week, twice a week to tell them to add cryptos. I think they could double their revenue if they added crypto. And they're just super old school. This thing's been around. TC 2000's been around for probably 30 years now. I want to say since the early 90s. This is what all the old heads use to chart. So like I said, my mentor Kunal Desai is what he uses because he's been around since 2000. So they don't have crypto. It is a brokerage too, but no one uses that as a brokerage that I know.
Right.
Yeah, I guess those are my only 2 complaints. It's a little on the expensive side.
Okay.
I'd have to say it's about $50-$60 a month with all the real-time data and news. But yeah, otherwise it's awesome. I mean, you have to be a little bit savvy. We've got some scans here. VWAP pullback, so it'll just scan all stocks that are pulling back and have a green candle to hold at the VWAP.
Oh, that's cool.
You kind of have to code it in there a little bit with certain ones. You've got double inside day here. Like I said, you have to kind of learn the code a little bit and some certain indicators. So let's figure out what we've got for a couple inside days. I mean, it just pulls up, uh, all the stocks that are forming inside days. Right here. It's got to be a green inside day. So that's how I've got it set up. So inside of this one, inside, and I've got it set up to where I want it at the top of the range, right?
Okay.
So I'm finding anything. So I'll find an inside day that is, just breaking out. So we've got an inside day set up, down here, and I'll be able to find it on this scan all the time, right? So General Dynamics, GD, this is a aerospace and defense stock. Get an inside day setting up here, kind of near, near highs. We got a little bit of a range break right here, right?
Yeah.
There's
That's
some,
nice.
might be something there.
That's pretty cool that it scans for stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you gotta figure it out. You can pay for some of them too, and you go on YouTube. Some people have all these scans right now for free, but there is a service that you can pay. It's like $150 a scan, which is just a ripoff.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. But,
$150 a scan?
$150 a scan. He's got like 1,000 of them too, and half of them are pretty awesome. Half of them don't work. So you got to figure out which ones to do.
It's not a scan, it's a scam.
But yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll go for it.
Sorry, quick question in chat. What broker are you using, and are you Canadian?
I'm not Canadian. I'm from Minnesota.
I'm Canadian, so.
I know you. I know you told me, and I can also tell in your voice.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think that's why they asked.
No, I'm from Minnesota, born and raised in Minneapolis, and came up to St. Cloud for college and stayed for, I don't know.
Gotcha.
And brokerage I've got a Webull account, but primarily I use E-Trade.
Okay.
E-Trade Pro is my favorite. I've got an account at Fidelity. It's got a couple bucks in there. I'll mess around with it every now and then if I get bored, but
yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about, I don't know if you have anything quite for this. You're a bartender, so maybe like you're working late nights and not really during the day, probably. Do you have any, I guess not really advice, but any tips for anyone who is trying to trade from work or has a full-time job and is trying to transition to trading?
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work at night. You're really going to have to rely on alerts a lot.
And profit takers and stuff like that?
Yeah. I don't necessarily have any advice for that because I don't have any experience from that. So I don't want to come up with some BS answer.
Yeah.
Because I never had that problem because like I said, I bartended at night. I'd work from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Gotcha.
Come home, get a couple hours of sleep, wake up and figure out the charts. So I never had that problem of working 9 to 5 and trying to trade.
That's fair. If anyone is wondering that, we had some great advice in previous interviews from guys who've done that, and they basically said profit takers are your best friend. You got to be, that's where you really have to adjust your kind of risk to reward. Buying in demand, selling in supply, shit like that, and really set your profit takers and your stop loss, because then you can walk away from that trade. Don't do anything ridiculous. Don't set it for 100% gainer or something. Take your base hits, slowly compound that account, and basically set the trade up in your brokerage so you can just walk away and not worry about it, right? That's what we've had previously, if anyone is wondering. And I do that too.
Some pretty sound advice.
Yeah, and I trade from my full-time job. I work 12 hours a day, and I'm able to do it fairly successfully. So
Nice.
yeah. All right. We are coming closer and closer towards the end of the show today. Does anyone in chat have any more questions? If you do, please type them out in Twitch chat and at 100_1,000,000. If not, I would love to talk to TSDR about the room that you're trading in. Where can people find your calls? And you feel free to shout out anybody you want. Shout out the room that you're in. Let's pump it.
For sure, man. So I was lucky when we started this account. I formed a really good relationship with Stock Talk Weekly, and he's the man. He's super smart.
I want him on my show.
I'll send him a message. I'll
Yeah,
send him this, and I'll send him. I'll get him on.
that'd be awesome.
Um, Hell yeah. So yeah, no, so I was lucky he hit me up. We had formed a good relationship on Spaces, and
Okay,
I got his phone number. We were texting him a little bit about,
that's
some
awesome.
trades and whatnot. And he goes, "Hey man, I'm starting this Discord in a couple months. I want you to run the day trading service on there." And I was like, "Damn, dude. Like, thanks, man. Like, I think I'm qualified. I think I can really help people. I've got a strong passion for it. And I think people would benefit from it. I know I have, and I just want to, pay it forward to some people. All the knowledge that I was given. Oh shoot, I'm not. I thought I was. I'm in the disc. I'm got the Discord on my screen, but my
Oh,
screen share
yeah, yeah.
is
Sorry,
still.
I didn't know you were on the Discord. Yeah, yeah.
No, let me.
If you want to share
How do
it.
I do? How do I do this? Just click stop streaming or
Yep.
what?
Just stop stream, and then your option will be to share screen again.
All right, there we go. I'm an old timer. I don't know this stuff.
No, you're good. You're good.
There we go. So yeah,
Perfect. Perfect.
his Stock Talk Weekly's Discord, super cheap, man. It's $20 a month. We've got some awesome people in here giving alerts, giving watch list. Me obviously, we got Mass Trades on Twitter. Brocco, who was live in there, he's pretty much just got discovered in this Discord. He was just a member, but he really knows what he's doing. He's got a great edge for trading. He's got a great eye for day trading. Him and I trade pretty much the exact same way. I think he's going to be a phenomenal trader in the future. He already is right now. He posts these awesome watch lists. We've got exclusive trading in here. Posting watch lists, posting alerts. A couple other guys. Pup of Wall Street. Vegas. Mel is in here. Money
Damn.
Mel.
She's awesome.
Uh,
We've had her on the
she's
show.
great, man. Oh, have you really? Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and watch it. Money Mel, she's posting all her, dark pool prints, talking about it. So I mean, this is I think a real hidden gem.
I gotta
Got
get in
a
there.
lot,
Damn.
a lot of FinTwit grades. There's exclusive posting all this stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then Stock Talk, every morning breaks down, what he's looking at,
Okay.
what he's thinking for the week, what he's thinking for the day, things that he's looking at, some trades to make, super important news. And this is all about, 5 hours before, it's posted on Twitter, and some stuff he doesn't, obviously post on Twitter. So it's really beneficial. Yeah, Ro, look at this right here. So this time he posted this at 3:05 a.m.
Okay.
2020 Trump campaign manager Brad whatever said on Twitter Spaces last night that he has a very close relationship with Fund and to expect a good PR this morning.
Oh
PR
shit.
Fund had a PR. Fund had no volume, no move at the time,
Right.
and so if you would have woke up, bought this at 4 a.m. your time, pre-market 3 a.m. my time, you could have been up about 35% on common shares because Fund made a crazy move that morning.
Wow.
And Stock Talk posted at 3:05 a.m. Even if you woke up at 7 a.m., it was still very actionable. And Fund literally gave it to you on a single platter, on a silver platter. Yeah, man, this place is great. We've got all sorts of educational resources, all my technical setups that I use throughout the day. I've got a library of charts going back to 2018 of all the charts that I've taken pictures of and screenshotted that are picture perfect setups, much like this NVIDIA setup that we went over. That's a textbook view app rejection. But yeah, check it out. I'm in here posting all the day trade alerts. Some other people posting day trade alerts like Square. I didn't even talk about this one, but yeah, we took Square this morning at calls at 117 for $1.40. It was at 8:45. By 8:50, they were trading at $2.50. They actually had a slight pullback to $1.30 at the time, so you could have gotten an even better entry. In and out in about 5 minutes. And then usually after about the first 20-25 minutes of trading, I'll hop on voice because I want that first half an hour to really focus myself and make and get a good cushion for the day of some profits. Trade the open with picture perfect focus, and then after that I'll hop on voice and we'll trade live on voice for the rest of the day. I'm usually on there for about 5 hours for the rest of the day. Then we took net. a bunch of times. I traded this probably 5 different times today. Took the red to green move right here as we went lower. Took the reject and then sold very quickly because this is $5 worth of range. Took the rejection at the red to green. Took this VWAP breakdown. Took this other VWAP breakdown right here.
So we can't see it. Sorry.
Oh yeah, shoot, my
No,
bad.
you're good. You're good. You're good. It's a lot of
But yeah,
switching. I know. I know.
join Stock Talk Weekly's Discord. It's $20 a month. Really good education. It's worth it.
And so, where's the link for that? Is that in your bio or his bio?
That'll be in Stock Talk Weekly's bio.
Okay, let me pull it and I'll drop it in chat for you guys.
For sure.
We do have another question, chat. Just while I'm pulling this up here. Yeah, sorry, you can take the floor while I do this. There we go. We're back on net.
Yeah. So I don't know. This one was the easy setup. I took a couple of L's on this, right here as it kind of was messing around at the VWAP, never really given, a solid rejection. As you can see, we never got the red candle to hold. I did take it right there on this entry right there. Ended up going against me, right?
Right.
But then ended up working again. We got a nice little move, and then boom, we got a big move. So right here, I was in the 112 contracts at this 113 rejection, the 112s. I don't even want to know what they went to, because I sold pretty much all of it right there. Went down to 103. Those probably went like 600%. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, man. Sorry, we got one question chat here from Leela Lee. Some say there could be a relief rally if over the weekend peace is declared. Do you think so too or not? I don't really have any background to talk about that, so I'll let you take it.
No, I dig it. Yeah, some people talked about that in the Discord, and I think my response was, I dig it, but we'll have to wait to see how it plays out.
Of course.
If we gap down super hard on Monday, so if we open up Monday morning like down like 1%, 1.5%, it's going to be really tricky trading to the short side. I think we'll probably have a bounce at some point throughout on Monday if we gap down 1%. If we gap up anything over 1% on Monday, I'm looking to short the shit out of the market. If we gap up over 1% on Monday, I'm looking to short the lights out of the market probably, because that 1% pop will get faded no matter what news it is. Maybe not Monday, maybe it'll happen Tuesday, but I will be looking to short any sort of relief rally that we get. It is possible that we see it. I'm not fully leaning that. I'm not convinced yet. To me, this looks like a beautiful double top rollover. Maybe we need a couple days consolidation for it to go side. Well, again, you guys don't have my screen up. Never mind. Maybe we need a couple sideways consolidation right under the 200-day moving average. A little bit of an inside day below the low, but below the 200-day moving average, but above the low of today. Maybe we need a couple inside days or just one inside day before we make another move lower. But I still think the move's to the downside.
Awesome. Yeah, good stuff. And yeah, it makes perfect sense to me, man. All right. So we're getting towards, we're pretty much at the end here. I kind of wrap these things up with the same question every time. And that is, so we try not to give advice and stuff like that. But if you were, let's say, you blew up your account, you refunded it, you blew it up again, nothing's working, red day after red day, your psych is down. How do you pull yourself out of that? And how do you kind of bounce back for anyone who's listening who is kind of going through those motions right now?
You got to change something. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again if it's not working for you. So if you keep blowing up your account, either your mentality is wrong, you're mismanaging trades, or you're trading the wrong stuff, or you're over position sizing and stopping it. You're just in a bad cycle of buying at support, selling at buying at resistance, selling at support, and you get stuck in that channel. And that's not necessarily just on the charts. That can be a full cycle where you make 1,000, you lose 2,000, you make 500, you lose 600, going back and forth, where your red days are bigger than your green days. And to get out of that cycle, I mean, you got to really learn. I don't know how
Yeah.
you're doing something wrong, obviously.
Right,
You're gonna have to
right.
figure it out. You're gonna have to change your strategy, overhaul everything. If you're losing a lot of money, obviously what you're doing is not working. Change something. Either you have a controlled variable where I'm only gonna change this. But I guess my best advice is find one setup you like, maybe even just one stock you like, and you like VWAP rejections or you like VWAP bounces, and just trade NVIDIA only VWAP bounces. Stick to that. And if you find that the lows work for you and you're able to manage that trade, then awesome. Then you can start to look for a few more setups, and maybe in a few more stocks, maybe you can start trading NVIDIA and AMD, together, or maybe you can start trading, a different sector even. But first and foremost, if you're day trading, find one setup, maybe two setups, and just focus on that. Like my buddy, he only trades opening range breakouts and breakdowns, and he's done by about 9:45 in the morning, or 10:30, 10:45 market time. He's my buddy who I started this with, and has been a really big mentor to me. He only trades ORBs, and he's done by the time the market by 10:30 every single day.
Wow. Is he doing
And
full time as well?
yeah, full time.
Amazing.
And he's been full time for a while now. And yeah, he's done. He works for about 2 hours in the morning, about an hour before, an hour after the market opens, and he's done. He makes a lot of money. He's really, really good at trading. One of the best traders I know.
Wow.
So find one setup that you like and just hammer it. Become a master of one. A jack of all trades in trading is a losing trader. A master of one thing is a successful trader.
100%. I'm seeing someone in chat saying ORBs ? Opening range breakouts. Oh, thank you, Blake in chat for answering that one.
Like Bracco,
Yeah.
the man.
Yes, sir. From the Discord.
Yeah, he's the one that pretty much the Discord not like discovered, but he was just a member in there. He was just a paying member, and now he's like contributing, VIP contributing member. So, dude's gonna be a goat. He already is. Blake, shout out to you, man. Keep working hard. Call me anytime.
You're
gonna be a man. You're gonna be a boss.
He's a VIP in my chat now.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
One more question for new traders. Obviously, there's a lot to navigate. There's a lot available, and it can seem super, super overwhelming. How can a new trader navigate the space, navigate the massive amount of indicators and all this stuff, and really hone down on a strategy that they like?
Keep it simple.
Exactly.
Keep it simple.
So too.
All you need is price and volume to trade. Price and volume. That's all you need. Or I say price and volume and range and liquidity, because all I really need, and which is essentially the same thing, right? Range is the amount of price the stock can move in price, and then liquidity is how much volume there is. So that's all you need to trade. You don't need all this these fancy TTM squeeze, Elliott waves, Fibonacci, whatever. I don't even know who Fibonacci is. So. I seriously, I know absolutely nothing about that stuff, and I've not like I've tried to learn or anything. I've given it. I know what they are. I could explain it, to someone who knows absolutely nothing about it and make him understand it a little bit. But that's not my realm of expertise. Not dogging on it at all. It works for a lot of people. It never worked. It never worked for me. I've never found success in it personally. Like I said, a lot of people use it. A lot of people are very successful with a lot of different stuff. All I need is price and volume, range, and liquidity.
Gotcha. Amazing.
Keep it simple.
Yep, that's right. Thank you so much for coming on TSDR Trading. Follow him out on Twitter. There's an underscore in between there, TSDR_trading. So make sure you hit him up. Anything you want to end with, man? Feel free. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you. This has been awesome. I love doing this. Is stuff we do. I do this about once or twice a week. I hop on Zoom and we chat with all the members in there. I go over whatever they want to talk about. I ask, hey, what do you guys want to talk about today? And a couple people will send some message. I'm like, that's a great idea. Let's talk about that. So I love doing this stuff. This is stuff I'm passionate about. I want to help people learn. My goal for 2022, I always write down my goals. My goal for 2022 was to change someone's life for the better noticeably and significantly. And still working on that goal. But I think I'm doing it a little bit at a time.
Hey, you're going to help people out of their day jobs, man. You're going to change people's lives. 100%, man.
Hopefully.
100%.
All right, man.
Thank you so much. Have a great night. Have a great weekend, man. And we will
You as well.
We'll see you in the market next week, bro.
Peace, dude.
Peace out. All right, guys, that was TSDR. Let me just edit my webcam here, and we'll wrap things up. Thank you, guys, for joining me. That was pretty good, right? Type a 1 in chat if you enjoyed the interview today. TSDR to rating. And we are on the road to 4,000 follows on Twitch, and I would love to get 100 subs this month. That is my goal. So if you guys are feeling generous or have some friends who want to enjoy the stream as well, that would mean a lot. All right, guys. Everybody have a great Friday. Hope you guys enjoyed. This will be available on my Twitch channel under videos, and in a couple days, it's going to be available on YouTube. And you can, let me link my YouTube channel here. Bam. So make sure you're subscribed to YouTube, and you can watch this all day, every day on repeat if you like to. And you can like, comment, subscribe. I love you guys. I love this community, and we'll see you in the next one. All right? I'm going to let this song play out, so if you want to sit here and jam, it's up to you. Have a great weekend. 100 out. Peace. Okay.
And his name is John C.
If your mama could see you now, topless and upside down, spinning around. If your mama could see you now, with the party lines coming out, are you lost and are you found? And there are too many mirrors in this heart. Don't fall in love with the man on stage. I'll be on in a minute, then I'll sweep you away. Don't fall for the monsters in this maze, but I could love you forever if you'd meet my gaze.